Hi YouTube, Juke Baser here once again. As I said, I'm going to be constantly reminding you of the 5th of October, the biggest Black History Month event in Europe. It's actually a free event. You can get your free tickets on Eventbrite. That's in Birmingham on the 5th of October. But for more information, just listen to the advert.
After a huge success of the event last year, we're back. The Black History Activity Book Launch Part 2 with special guests the Royal Highness Queen Diambi of the Democratic Congo, Hemfodishi, Charmaine Simpson, and Dr. Mark Wilcott. And don't forget Andrew Linder, the author of the children's activity books, will be interviewed by the host, Mandingo, Pan-Africanist Gaviite. Come and learn how great you are. Make sure you support all the vendors in the biggest African cultural market in the UK. This event will be held Saturday the 5th of October from 12 till 7 p.m. This event will be held at the Bingley Hall, 1 Hockley Circus, Hockley, Birmingham, B18 5PP. For stalls, call 07896 494 056. Follow Black History Activity Books on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This is a family event, so bring all the children to the Black History Activity Book Launch Part 2, the biggest Black History event in England. Get your free tickets from Eventbrite today.
Now that's on the 5th of October, Birmingham, England. This is the Juke Baser channel featuring Mutabaruka on YouTube.
This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Good night. Today is the 11th of September. Usually it would be us celebrating Ethiopian New Year. The year would be celebrating Ethiopian New Year, but for those of you who don't know, I think it's a leap year. So tomorrow is the 12th. That is when the New Year fall. If I am not wrong, somebody can call and correct me, but I think that it is tomorrow the Ethiopian New Year fall on the 12th, but it's really the 11th that usually celebrate. And for those of you who don't know, it is it's the year 2000. Get twisted, tongue twisted, you know. All right, make we go again. It is 2012, sorry. It is 2012 in Ethiopia. Yes, the new year. It is 2012 in Ethiopia. For those of you who don't know, the calendar of Ethiopia is 7 years behind the Gregorian calendar. They use the Julian calendar in Ethiopia. We use the Gregorian calendar. It is 2012 in Ethiopia. Tomorrow is the 12th. It will be celebrated tomorrow, the New Year's. One significant thing, second significant thing, it was the day that Peter Tosh was murdered, the 11th of September, right up there in my house. He was murdered. That is the 11th of September. And the next thing that happened that changed the whole perspective of the earth as it relates to how we fly, how we travel, and all these things is that some Arabs fly two planes in the Twin Towers in New York and start a whole war. War in Iraq, war in Afghanistan, war in Syria, war all over the place, war. So September the 11th, very significant for these reasons that we give. The day that Peter Tosh was murdered, the Ethiopian New Year, and the beginning of how we enjoy flying. I must tell you about that. There was a time when flying was such, I mean, you're kind of scared about the length of time in a flight, and you know, say nothing underneath the plane and catch it up. And you know, say a whole heap of people in there with you. But we kind of did enjoy it still, but no, there's no enjoyment in flying again. Too much hassle, too much bustle and wastle, too much things, you have to go through too much things. You know, you have to go through this line and go through, take off your belt, take off your this, whosoever have shoes, take off them shoes, this, that, all sorts of things go on. Because of fear. Fear. That is what caused it. But we still fly because this is how some of us have to do. We go out there and do what we have to do and come forward. This is how we have to do it. So, yes, today, very significant in history. Okay, so we have a program lined up for you. We want to continue the journey musically. But first, let me play this. I want to tell you about this Ethiopian New Year banquet. Authentic Ethiopian cuisine and music will be held at Cafe Africa. For those of you who don't know where Cafe Africa is, it's 2 Trafalgar Road, New Kingston. That is right at the corner of Lady Musgrave and Trafalgar Road. And this will be happening tomorrow, which is Thursday, September the 12th, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Admission is $2,500. And the part proceeds will go to the Haile Selassie High School. And them say you have to buy advance ticket, you call 876-828-4144 or WhatsApp a message to 876-894-7174. That's an Ethiopian New Year banquet that will be held at Cafe Africa at 2 Trafalgar Road tomorrow from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. They'll be having Ethiopian food there, injera and what. Very interesting to see how Ethiopia is now one of the countries, them say, that is rising in terms of development. And very interesting to know that the 3 countries that is advancing in terms of them GDP and what they are doing forward moving countries is in Africa. We're not talking about now just Africa alone, we're talking about the world. Africa seems to be moving up. So, as we see in places like Ghana and Kenya, Nigeria and these places, this idea of a jungle Africa must be placed in the trash can of Europeans' mind, and an extension African people mind outside of Africa, where we feel that it's pure jungle there, Africa. We who go to Africa know different. Because right now, I can bet you a whole heap of people who go to Africa from Jamaica go to Africa and never see a lion yet. You think it's joke, right? A whole heap, say lion is synonymous with Africa. It's not only Africa lion there, but lion is synonymous with Africa. And I know that when I was a child and I hear about Africa, I think about lion, elephant, tiger, giraffe, and all these things. The first thing I think about. I don't know nothing about Africa more than lion and jungle. And especially when you go to the movies, Tarzan, this man who was an hero in Africa, talking to animals, and as a matter of fact, he was brought up by some ape, according to the legend of Tarzan, Lord Greystock, them call him. So as an African youth, not knowing say he's African, but just sitting in Jamaica, viewing the world from another perspective, we think about Africa, we think about lion. And I bet you, and I bet, I don't even know how I have to bet. I bet you say most people who left here in a Jamaica so and go to Africa never see a giraffe yet. Most people me talk about no. Me not talk about you go Africans. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say something else too. I bet you that most people who live in Africa never see a monkey yet. It's strange that the perception where we have of Africa is that you land off a plane and you go see lion and giraffe and tiger run up and down and people walk up and down half naked with spear and all them something and a boom go 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 boom go 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 and you go drive and you go see straw hut and all these things. But guess what? Africa is the only place on earth where you can trace human being from the primitive to the modern. When I say primitive, to me I talk about real primitive. Real primitive. We are talking about naked primitive. We are talking about no touch house primitive. We are talking about modernization to the point where no clothes, too much clothes. I love to say too much clothes because it's some African have had clothes. So clothes like wow, man. All them boo there with 3 pieces, sometimes it's 4 pieces too. Because you have on all sorts of things. And then you put on more things and more things. Not to mention the jewelry and the all sorts of things them have around them. And then you have a set of people where when you look at them, you hardly see them with any clothes. And them living what I call in the past. Them living in the past. And you have that Africa where it's so futuristic. Very futuristic. But we don't know that. So when you tell people these things now, it comes strange to them because that is not what them learn. Or that is not what they were indoctrinated to think and believe. Because when we hear about the Lion King, the lion is supposed to be king of the jungle. How much time you hear that? The lion is the king of the jungle. And when we think of jungle, we think of enough bush and all sort of animal that go sneak up on you and giraffe and well, not even giraffe because giraffe don't live in a jungle. And well, lion don't live in a jungle neither. Lion don't live in jungle. As a matter of fact, you have places in the world that have more densely what they call jungle than Africa. Africa is not a jungle continent. As a matter of fact, one of the brethren, Ivan Van Sertima, who come from Guyana, said there's more jungle in a Guyana than Africa. And Africa is a continent. There's more jungle outside of Africa than in Africa. And when we think about Africa, it's pure bush we are thinking about. Most Jamaican think that. Even though them know them as see Africa on them TV, them still feel say Africa is a place of no modernization. And if you not think say it no modern, you think say disease, and you think say war, and kill people down there, and disease flood the place and all them things there. It's lie them telling. It's lie them telling. And we need a system where, apart from programs like these, apart from programs like Cabo program, we need a system of re-education. Because most of us might not have the opportunity to go to Africa physically. Just like how most of us don't have the opportunity to go to Europe or America. But our perspective of Europe and America is totally different from our perspective of, say, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, the Congo, Tanzania, Ethiopia. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how brainwashed we are. It's amazing how brainwashed. And since most of us will not be able to travel to Africa in our lifetime, neither Europe in our lifetime, we should not die with the illusion. At least we should be taught and re-educated into a mindset that tell us the truth. And the truth is, Africa is a continent, not a country. You have 50 different countries in that space. Just like how Europe is not a country, it's a continent. So when we talk about Germany and when we talk about France and Italy and Spain and Portugal and all the places in Europe, people don't lump up Germany with France. Them separate it. Them don't lump up Germany with France. Because they call a man like Hitler. Hitler was not a German. He was an Austrian. And he go to Germany. And he was elected democratically by the people to lead them. But people, when them talk about Germany, them don't say Europe, them say Germany. When we hear about the Eiffel Tower and all these places in Europe, we specify and pinpoint what we're talking about when we say Hitler, when we say Eiffel Tower, when we say Vatican City. We know exactly where Vatican City there. And even though we know say Europe it there, but we can pinpoint say it in a Rome, Italy. People don't say Christopher Columbus was a European, even though he was a European. People say Christopher Columbus was an Italian. And them take some ship from King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella from Spain. So them specify the countries. Them specify the countries. So why is it that Africa is different? Why is it that Africa is different? Why is it that when we speak of something happening in, let me say, Sierra Leone, or make we say the Congo, make we say, for instance, 20 years ago, war in Rwanda. Why we don't mention that war was in Rwanda? We say war in Africa. And it's not a war like what was happening in Europe during the First and Second World War. Because in the World War, that them claim is World War, it was Europeans murdering and killing white people. It was nothing else more than white people killing white people. The tribes of Europe killing the tribes of Europe. That was all of Europe involvement. Not just part, not just like France and Germany and England fighting, but all of Europe was fighting. So that time we say Europe, World War I, World War II. And even to that, white people still call it World War. Oh my gosh, man. What a brainwashing. The world wasn't in a war. It's white people killing white people in Europe. That's what it is. It's like when they have the World Series in America. No Chinese, no right, American. All of them is American. Whether them is Chinese, whether them is Russian, Them is American. It's not Jamaican, not involved in the World Series. It's American team playing American teams. That is what it is. And guess what? America is a continent. But it's divided in states instead of countries. So when the World Series playing, little black people who do have nothing better to do spend money to watch millionaires playing the World Series. That has nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them. So we hear about Africa. And people say, no, sir, I don't want to go to Africa. I'm afraid people go to do this or do that and this and that and that. You know, you're having a travel alert from America that them not telling us, say, you will be safe if you enter America because anything can happen. A guy just walk in a supermarket and just shoot out the place. A guy just feel, say, well, right now I have some gun, I'm not using it. He just go look for tall building and start firing at some concert. Nobody says, me not go to America yeah, because they might shoot out the place. No, everybody still want, that don't stop the people from want visa to go to America. It don't stop. But we hear about Ebola in a Guinea. And we are given travel advisory not to go to Africa. Not to go to Guinea, you know, not to go to Africa. Africa is a continent. Guinea over upon the west coast. Kenya over upon the east coast. South Africa upon the south coast. Morocco upon the north coast. But people tell you, say, don't go to Africa because Ebola they there. What the hell? How we get to this? How we get to that? How we get to that thinking that we cannot discern or really dissect the mentality and the position that people who is in power have over we, that we can unconsciously believe that we are consciously thinking for ourselves. We're not thinking for ourselves because we don't reach a point of re-education and how we view ourselves as African people, or how we view the world in relationship to Africa. Because there is a point where we have to look upon the thing from our perspective. We can't keep making them define our reality for us. We have to be ourselves and define ourselves coming from our historical reference point, which should be Africa. It's a terrible thing that them still have we saying the lion is the king of the jungle. Them still have we saying it. Them have we saying it to the point where they make movie and reaffirm it in our thinking and our consciousness. And it just don't come nowhere to it because it's just a movie. It's just a little thing and they make all a museum. You're going to 42nd Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. And you see the affirmation of the Lion King, the lion is the king of the jungle. And they make plays and paraphernalia and all these things to catch you into that, to make you become part of that. Their reality, what them is creating for themselves, and make we now become part of it and can realize it is an illusion. It is a deception. Because when you go to Africa, you have to go find a place where lion there. Because you're not going to see none of walk in Accra. I am now going to walk in a Marrakesh and see none. I am now going to walk in a Johannesburg and see none. Because we pass a stage there. But who going to tell the people that when you have so much medias, when you have so much radio station, so much music, so much television network, and still maintain that white supremacy power base to deceive the people continuously? Who going to change that thinking and realize it is necessary and needed for the people them who's domiciled on these farmer slave plantation island to awaken themselves and wake up from this demented thinking, demented thoughts, demented whatsoever. It's a terrible thing. We find ourselves in a terrible position. And then now we reaffirm it in the children them that come in, because the teachers them don't know no different. Them is teaching what them believe. And how did they believe what they teach? It coming from people who believe what them teach and don't know. Because look how much years we are here about Africa. Most of us start to go to Africa now. More people and more people is going to Africa now and come back, come show you, say, watch your man, how them say this and how them say that. How much time I go to Africa before me see a lion, a real lion? I tell you. Then they're supposed to be see a white tiger. And tiger is not a place where enough, and lion, sorry, Africa is not a place where enough tiger there, even though whenever I even know the tiger they other country like India and all them places there. You know, whenever I even know certain things there. I mean monkey. St. Kitts, me never see a country, the only place me see more monkey than St. Kitts are Ethiopia. In a St. Kitts, monkey are run up and down on the street. St. Kitts, the little island where down there so. St. Kitts, Nevis. Monkey like worries. Who that didn't know say monkey they are St. Kitts to the point where it almost come like the population of monkeys, the same population of human beings. Because how much people there are St. Kitts? I don't remember, less than 400,000 I guess. Monkey like worries. Who knows a monkey enough that St. Kitts? You know, me ask my brethren, if me can't get a monkey, come with a real one own a monkey, you know. But anytime we think monkey, we think Africa. Anytime we think giraffe, we think Africa, lion, Africa, zebra, Africa. Run up and down naked people, Africa. People that eat people, Africa. Disease, Africa. War, Africa. Look how much war are going on in the world now. Many wars are fighting now in the world. How much of them are fighting in Africa? Look how long the war in Afghanistan are going. The Russian them going to Afghanistan. America team up with Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, and after 10 years, the Russian them couldn't stay. Now the American them gone in and them gone past 10 years and them can't stay neither, and the country still worse than when them did go there. Because them say them did go there, God was make peace reign and good governance and all these things. But them going to a set of people culture that define them. And when a person have him culture and then turn it in a religion, it's a very hard thing to get him out of that. No matter where you do. And then get all fundamentalists. Then become a fundamentalist. Because now him culture become a religion. And that is when now you can't separate him religion from him culture now. Very hard, very difficult when a man take him culture and turn in a religion. Very difficult to get him out of it. Because now him put a added thing in him culture. You see, Christianity is not no culture. It's just a belief system that people go around and do the same thing with them I do every day and just believe say this is that and believe say that is that. It have nothing to do with culture. I'm going to say Rasta look like them a god away they too. Because Rasta most powerful asset is the culture of Rastafari. But now I say Rastafari, the base of Rastafari culture is being redefined by a whole heap of reggae musicians and reggae artists. Yeah man, and me I said, Mutabaruka said that. We said the reggae music are redefine how Rasta view them cultural expression, which was the most positive and the most manifested relationship with them have with themselves as African people. Where the fire gone? And where the fire gone? Because right now, it why long now to Rasta is just a belief. If you don't mind sharp, it's just a belief. You believe that. You believe say it's like this God. You believe say Africa repatriation and you believe this and you believe that. But with the culture there, the living manifestation where people not tell you say them lacks in them heart. That is madness. That is become that is metaphorically speaking, and then now you use the metaphor as a reality when the metaphor is just to give you a perception. And now people use that now and say, well, it's in your heart. Your heart is your heart. I can't say your heart. What is inside of you must be manifested outside. That is what culture is all about. Culture is the highest discipline because every other disciplines come from culture. Whether it's religion, every religion comes from a culture. Anthropology, the study of human beings in a them environment, is culture that. Sociology come from culture. You have to study the culture of the people if you understand sociology. Politics, if the politician them did that study the people, them culture, them would get them would know more how to govern them, but them don't understand the culture of the people. So them go outside of the people's culture and go into a next man culture and use the next man culture to govern the people them of a different culture. That is madness. That is madness. So what we're searching for? We're searching for our true identity as African people, domiciled on these former slave plantation island. And if we don't find it, and we want to say, dog, nyam supper. You man talk about we can't go back in a slavery. You think it's true you make whole heap of music about fire burn this and fire burn that are going to stop them from in slavery. When we see say, they might use psychological warfare upon we now. And we don't even know, so we are go back or reverse. We are reverse. You know, see it? We are reverse. I look on how the man them set themselves. I look on how the daughter them set themselves. And everybody has said, well, that no matter. Them things that no matter in your heart. You know, it's just love we are deal with. And it's madness. Madness. We Africans will fight if it's necessary because we're confident of good over evil. We're confident. And we never stop so we are African. Maybe we evolve from that, just like we evolve from Negro to black and black to African. We go to Ghana, Kushite, Nubian, we go to Ghana, Al-Kabulan and all these things. But the fact still remains the continent we are work with. We identify with a continent. Just like how everybody else identify with film continent. We can identify with a island. Because we never ask to come here. Them bring we here by force, not by free will. So African people, we are designed. We are like genetically modified. We're genetically modified right now. We are modified into something that we are not. And this is perpetuated by the preachers and the politicians them who insist that them working for higher being and a higher power when all them is doing is reinforcing white supremacy. That's all them is doing. Reinforcing white supremacy. But them not gonna say that. Them gonna say I'm me the madman. And me don't know what me I say. With my rhetorics, with me ranting and raging. Well, if I am the madman, look on the people them. Look on the people them. And tell me, with all the politics and the religion, where we get for the 400 years and the 500 years. And if we want to go beyond that, the 2,000 years. If African people has reached the zenith of them potential, because by now we should have reached the potential. Bob Marley music, we should not listen to Bob Marley music and relate to it. No, we should have said that is history. We should not listen to Bob Marley music and talk about why what that sound like now we. Then they hear them a quote Miss Lou up at the Miss Lou square. And the Prime Minister said, dirty tough, rain and fall, but dirty tough. Things so hard that nowadays if you ask somebody how them do, them afraid we take it, tell them and them not answer you. I must say about 70 years ago, Miss Lou right, because 50, 60, 80, 90, about 70 years ago, 80 years ago, Miss Lou write a poem there. And when we say it now, when we listen to it now, it come like the woman did I look upon now. It's not no prophecy. It's just that we are sure you say the more things changes, the more they remain the same. 1 step forward, 10 step backward. And will we get caught in it? It's just that somehow we kind of say little more than somehow we. Somehow we are say a little, we have a little eye, far eye, more than somehow we. And those who supposed to have that far eye, at sleep. Then you know, she say it at sleep. Man, I tell you about, say, boy, I know where you wear and all them something is your heart and all them something there. Like say them a Christian. Man, I talk about, yeah, but, you know, you do have to be dread to be Rasta. Them talk there. Because that is a license for million people to come say them is Rasta too, when them do have no consciousness, no cultural expression of Rasta. And Rasta is a cultural expression. It's a cultural expression. What you have in you must show outside of you. That is what Rasta is for. Rasta is a revolutionary movement. Rastafari is a black power movement with a spiritual nucleus. And them make you afraid to say black power. Especially when you're there in a certain quarters. You don't want to say black power anymore. You want to say, we're all one. Yeah, we're all one, yes, but we still have a struggle and a fight for fight. And until that day, we Africans will fight if it is necessary because we are confident in the victory of good over evil. Emperor Haile Selassie I. Today is Maskaram. Today is Maskaram. It is the New Year's of Ethiopia. The year is 2012. according to the Ethiopian calendar that the Ethiopians them use. This is the cutting edge on IRFM. We're there with you. Yeah, this is the cutting edge on IRFM. You know, as I said, today is when them kill Peter Tosh. We have on the line here Enyambe Tosh. Good night.
Good morning. Well, morning for me. What is it? 11 for you? Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well, Muta. How you doing?
I'm okay. Okay, so it was in what, 1987?
Yep.
Did it take place? Yes, 19. That time, how young you was?
I was 5.
Okay,
5 years old.
Yes. Okay. You live in Jamaica, by the way?
I do not live in Jamaica. I live in Boston.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Yeah. But so, Jamaica's my second home, so I try to come to Jamaica as often as possible.
Yeah. All right. So what you did? What you did today? I mean, what you did? Sit down and cry, sit down and reminisce. What you did today?
Well, I had a couple of interviews today, but I don't. You know, some people think of the day that someone transitions as, you know, a day to mourn. But for me, it's really a day where I just honor the gifts that I've gotten from my father, and I'm grateful to be the daughter of such a rich legacy. And so today was really just about, you know, playing his music and filling my heart with gratitude. You know, everyone has to go, and it's not up to us to determine when people go. So, you know, I know that everything happens for a reason. So today was really just a day of remembrance and a day of positive vibes for me.
All right, we know that last year they had the inauguration of the Stepping Rays award. That was inauguration. You was there?
You said yeah, I was.
Okay, then I think that's a figure out what I'm talking about.
Yeah, last year at the gala.
Yes, I remember because I was the one who got it. Right?
Exactly.
All right, so
and it was well deserved.
Yes,
definitely well deserved.
Give time.
We appreciate, you know, all that you do to keep culture alive in Jamaica and make people know what's important.
All right, you're obviously going to have it this year again.
Of course.
We're the same place at
We're
Eden.
still fine tuning. We're fine tuning the details. That there's going to be some changes this year, and so the upcoming weeks, maybe in about within the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to give you all of the information
details,
on October. Yes.
And you know that IRFM used to have something in February, which was very big in Westmoreland, but that is no more.
So I wouldn't say it's no more, because that's something that I definitely looked forward to every year. And I know the first time that we didn't do it, it was because of election, and then the following year there was some construction on the property, and so I think it's something I definitely want to bring back, because there's nothing like Belmont. You know,
so you've been talking to IRFM or what? Have you been talking to IRFM about it?
I will. We've mentioned it before, and it's something that they're definitely interested in as well. And so I think that soon it will be back.
Okay. But I see that at the museum, they have well, not that big, but similar celebration there. They're going to have it this year again at Paul's.
The location is still to be. We're still fine tuning it, but I think we're going to switch things up a little bit, and so I'm looking forward to, once we finalize it, to sharing those details. But it will. I don't think it'll be at Pulse this year. So, but I don't want to say too much.
So you don't have a venue as it. You don't have a venue as it then.
We have something that we're considering, but I want to make sure we.
All right, suggest it.
In solid.
Suggest it, because maybe we suggest it to happen. So suggest what you have in mind. What you have in mind?
Well, we're looking to bring in the next generation, and so we've been talking to some colleges and looking to possibly have something, on potentially either, still in Kingston, but we're considering bringing it to the younger generation. So it's not set in stone yet. So we're still,
No. When you say bring it to the younger generation, at first it wasn't to a younger generation.
No, it's always been for a younger generation. But I think that sometimes a venue sets a tone. And so I felt like Pulse was something that, you ended up only limiting it to a certain demographic, and that's not the intention of my vision. And so, and I know it's not my father's vision as well. His message was for all walks of life, and so I want to make sure that where we keep it next, everyone feels comfortable to come and learn and feel included, and
so that means that the farmers at the show will be different then.
Not necessarily. Okay. Not necessarily. Yeah.
I still don't want to suggest.
Still bring a really wonderful concert, but there's so many moving pieces that it's hard to, and that we're locking down in the next, literally in the next couple of days. And
I want you to tell me 3 places where you think it could have possibly keep. So you don't tell me one. Tell me, because if you say one, everybody going to say what that shall looks.
I'll tell you.
Tell me 3.
Long-term goal is. I'll tell you what my long-term goal is. My long-term goal is definitely to have something on a beach, because I love Belmont. I love
Belmont. Of course, Belmont is Belmont.
Yeah, so that's something that I definitely want to make sure we bring back, and I love the idea of a free concert. I think that something that everyone can come to at different, and everyone can access the music, the message, and feel inspired. That's something that's very, very important.
The last one was kept at the school, and that was really something else, man.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was at the school.
It was a beautiful experience. We had a lot of the community come out. I love the idea of having the community be able to come and vendors are able to sell their things, and
So you think about Belmont then?
Well, yeah, we're thinking about Belmont, thinking about potentially a college campus, and there's a couple of then there's other venues that we've been looking into as well. But definitely either Kingston or Westmoreland is what we're looking at, and so we will let you know. I'll definitely try to make sure we link up. And
this will be the 17th. Is that 3-day thing, 2-day thing, 1 day?
Yeah, we'll still have the gala and the award ceremony, and then we have to do the symposium at the University of West Indies with Herbie Miller. And then there'll be the concert, and then the last day is the retreat to Belmont, and that people have the opportunity to come out to see the mausoleum and connect with the legacy from where he used to get his inspiration from, and so. We want to make sure we include both sides of the country.
Okay. All right. So what is going on with the foundation now? I know that there was a whole heap of this and that, back, forward, back. What is happening with the Peter Tosh Foundation?
Well, we recently got our 501c3 status. That's a status that you get in the United States to be able to accept donations, and so that's a huge accomplishment. It's not an easy feat. And now we have 5 different initiatives that we are continuously working on. The first initiative is the Legalize It initiative, and that one is really to continue on with my father's vision for legalization of cannabis and really pushing for an inclusive cannabis industry, because people are hearing that legalization is happening in different places and in different countries and in different states, but we still have black and brown people that still end up still incarcerated, still persecuted, and we want to make sure that Rastaman was first people that was persecuted from many, many years ago and sung about and knew about the benefits and the spiritual upliftment of cannabis. And that there needs to be legislation that acknowledges that and includes people into the industry, because the same people that are making millions and billions of dollars off of it now were part of the systematic
destruction of it.
Exactly. And so that's one of the initiatives. The next one is the Justice for Jawara and Justice for All campaign, and that initiative is really about hearing my brother's story.
I was just going to ask about that. I was just going to ask about that. What is happening with that really? What going on?
So there's two separate things. And so there's my brother himself, who actually I'm his caretaker. He lives with me, and my mom. He lives with me, and then my mom helps me take care of him, and we have a lot of support that comes in to take care of it. I'm really, really grateful that we're able to do that. But he still needs a lot. He still has some progress to make. He still needs full care. He needs us to kind of do everything for him. Still working to be able to communicate. And so he does have a long journey ahead. And so what I tell people is I run a holistic center from my home, consciously educating myself, consistently educating myself to learn different ways to strengthen his brain, because he does have a brain injury. And so the listeners that don't know is that he was attacked a couple of years ago after being arrested for possession of cannabis. Since then, the attacker has been sentenced. He was attacked while incarcerated, and so the attacker was already sentenced earlier this year. But now we have started a civil suit against the prison and the jail and the county, and so that's a very, very long process, and we're still in the beginning stages of that. So that's really about Jawara, but the initiative that's a part of the nonprofit is really to share his story in an effort to push for national legalization. Really, no one should be incarcerated for cannabis, point blank, period. You have people that are dying every day from prescription drugs that are given by doctors and by pharmacies, and cannabis has never ever killed anyone, and so there's no reason why anyone should be incarcerated for possession of cannabis. And so that's really our long-term goal, is to push for national legalization, but also criminal justice reform, because most of the people that are incarcerated look like me and you. They're black in this country, in America particularly, and obviously in Jamaica, but looking to really change the way it's supposed to be a place where you reform humans and not punish them and torture them.
So let me ask you, I don't know, Ralph Smith, right?
Ralph Smith.
He's a lawyer.
You know Ralph Smith.
He was dealing with your brother case too. One of the lawyers from Ralph. You don't remember?
Yeah, so
he's still on it. He's not on it again.
No, he's no longer part of the case.
Okay.
Right now we have Jasmine Rand, and so Jamaica,
Jasmine.
Some Jamaicans, are familiar with Jasmine.
Yeah, I know Jasmine.
Represented, Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin, and then also the family in Jamaica as well.
Mario Dean.
Right.
Okay.
And so we have a few. We also, the part of the nonprofit is the museum. It's very, very important for us to continue to make sure that we have a staple in Jamaica and improve it over the years. That can share my father's story and educate the world about such a an important figure in history. He's a part of world history as far as I'm concerned, and so the world needs to really be able to have a place that they can come and learn about his music and his message and walks of life. And then we also have the Global Community Initiative, where we look for different partners that are doing work around the world that we can support and fund. So
well, you look like you're a busy lady, ma'am. You look like you're very busy.
I am. And not just the foundation. It's also, getting into the cannabis industry, and also, continuing on with merchandise. We're still working on a movie. We just partnered with a partner to do a play as well, and so we're definitely we definitely have our hands full.
Okay, all right. Well, give thanks to hear your voice. Give thanks, and I was thank you again for last year. Thank you,
Yeah, definitely.
We recognize
definitely.
that.
You've always been in our thoughts. We definitely appreciate all that you do for the legacy. We know you've always been a bona fide Tosh fan.
Of course.
And so we appreciate everything. So thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, Nyambi.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that was Nyambi Tosh. As you can hear, she's a very busy woman doing the works to really keep her father name, work, image, and spirit alive. This is the cutting edge on RFM. We're there with you. Here we go.
Welcome to Jamaican Roots and Culture. I'm Pat Clark. September 11 marks the anniversary of the death of Hubert Winston McIntosh, popularly known as Peter Tosh. Today we'll look at his life and musical legacy. Peter Tosh was born in Westmoreland, Jamaica. Peter Tosh first... Welcome to Jamaican Roots and Culture. I'm Pat Clark. September 11 marks the anniversary of the death of Hubert Winston McIntosh, popularly known as Peter Tosh. Today we'll look at his life and musical legacy. Peter Tosh was born in Westmoreland, Jamaica. Peter Tosh first played the guitar after watching a man in the country strumming a song on his guitar that captivated him. During the early 1960s, Tosh met Robert Nesta Marley, Bob Marley, and Neville O'Reilly Livingston Bunny Wailer, and went to vocal teacher Joe Higgs, who gave out free vocal lessons to young people in hopes to form a new band. In 1964, Peter Tosh helped organize the band The Wailing Wailers with Junior Brathwaite, a falsetto singer, and backup singers Beverly Kelso and Cherry Smith. Initially, Tosh was the only one in the group who could play a musical instrument. The Wailing Wailers had a major ska hit with their first single, Simmer Down, and recorded several more successful singles before Brathwaite, Kelso, and Smith left the band in late 1965. The band signed a recording contract with Chris Blackwell and Island Records Company and released their debut, Catch a Fire, in 1973, following it with Burning in the same year. He moved on to make his own album with Rolling Stones Records and CBS in 1977, featuring his recording of a song co-written with Marley entitled Get Up Stand Up, and a cover of Stepping Razor, and that would also appear on the soundtrack to the film Rockers. In 1978, the Rolling Stones record label, Rolling Stones Records, contracted with Tosh, on which the album Bush Doctor was released, introducing Tosh to a larger audience. The album featured Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, and the lead single, a cover version of the Temptations song Don't Look Back, was performed as a duet with Jagger. It made Tosh one of the best-known reggae artists. In 1984, after the release of Mama Africa, Tosh went into self-imposed exile, seeking the spiritual advice of traditional medicine men in Africa and trying to free himself from recording agreements that distributed his records in South Africa. On September 11, 1987, just after Tosh had returned to his home in Jamaica, a three-man gang came to the house on motorcycles and demanded money. Tosh replied that he did not have any with him, but the gang did not believe him. They stayed at his residence for several hours. During those hours, some of Tosh's associates arrived to visit him. They were also taken hostage by the gunmen. The gunmen finally opened fire in a reckless manner after their demands for money were not met. Tosh was shot twice in the head and killed. Herbalist Wilton Doc Brown and disc jockey Jeff Free Eye Dixon also died as a result of wounds sustained during the attempted robbery. A square on Trafalgar Road in Kingston was renamed Peter Tosh Square recently, and the square is home to the Peter Tosh Museum, which opened in October 2016. Among the artifacts on display is Tosh's M16 guitar. Here is our Jamaican proverb for the day. If me no catch you a moonshine, me catch you a dark night. If I don't catch you in the moonlight, I'll catch you on the dark night. This means it's easier to catch someone who is off guard rather than alert. If me no catch you a moonshine, we catch you a dark night.
For Jamaican Roots and Culture, I'm Pat Clark.
Yes, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. So we are talking about perceptions of Africa, and the perception don't define we accurately as a people. And we have the perception that was given to us by our colonizers, still colonizing us using some neo-colonialist roast bread fruit. Bossy slave them who feels that them is not slave. In order to not be a slave, you have to free other slaves, man. You have to free slaves. Slave can't free slave. But you're a slave and behaving like you don't, like he's not. When all your actions and your doings and your look says that you are. So we come to the point where we have technology at our fingertips. We have technology to do whatsoever and to use it at our advantage. Instead, we are using it at our disadvantage. We have fallen in the trap of thinking through the spectacles of the same people them who manipulate our ancestors for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years, and still is manipulating our ancestors. And we say, so how long this addiction to things white is going to continue? How long are we going to allow? How long are we going to allow it to happen? When we have this technology now that can be used at our advantage. And when we're talking about technology now, we're talking about this thing what them call iPhone and iPad and computers that are supposed to make things be more relevant to our what we call 21st century age and mind. Anything where you want to know, you can Google it and see it. Anything. When I say anything, I say anything. Most of us, when we go upon it, the things them that we look for has nothing to do with our liberation, have nothing to do with our struggle. It's not even entertaining us in a way that we can even learn from those entertainment, because you can learn from entertainment. You can learn from fiction too. You can learn if you want to learn. But we say that the same people them who put it in front of us design it in such a way that we will be so fascinated with the illusions of it that we sidestep what's supposed to re-educate we, and then we are now being designed in another way. And we are now part of that artificial intelligence that is creeping up on us. That even them who make these artificial intelligence make it in line, in keeping with their understanding and their logics. Now we have become artificially intelligent. We are so modified. We have been modified without a chip in our head. The chip right in front of our eyes. And we use that eyes to bring the chip in our head. People who read Bible talk about the number and the mark of the beast and 666 and all them things. If you are look for mark of the beast and 666, you go look and can't see nothing. Because it's in your head already. It's in your head already, them trick way. Them put it in our head. And we are part of the process of putting it in our head without even them putting it in there. Now you don't see that. Look on 4 youths sit down at table and see if any one of them talk to any one of them. Them talk to themselves in them head where it's placed in there by the iPhone, the iPad and the computer. That is where them there. It's in them head. Not even in them forehead. In them head. In them brain. And it'll use up that part of them brain that them don't usually use. You know, them say you're going to use 10% of your brain. It's in the part of the brain where we not use. And the youth, them gulp it up, but you can't tell no youth that. You can't tell the youth them that. Them will say, what you talk about? You come with them all the time, foolishness. Then look how the thing set. Look how the world set, I don't know. Why is it that everything that we aspire for is in the context of Europeanization? Why is it that everything that we aspire for is in the context of the indoctrination that they call education? Why the thing then that we aspire for is the social acceptability of how we think, how we talk, how we look, how we eat, how we dress, and even how we fantasize. Can you imagine that? A man have you physically and spiritually, and then him have you fantasize in a theme thinking. You know, have a fantasize about something of your ache. You know, have a fantasize of something of what it is that you are as a person. You are fantasizing in relationship to what he wants you to be or stay as. So put our jacket and tie, our Italian shoes, our Clarks, booty, depending on what part of the brainwashing you find yourself in. Yes? Because the youth them gone to. Because if it's not some Clarks booty, it's some diamond socks and all these things that was there from long time and now idolized. It's become part of the idolatry of our world now. We have placed these things in our brains, and we talk about them, we sing about them, we live them, and we try to in sync it with our things. A well-known Rastafari brethren tell me, say, can't wear African clothes right now. It's a modern Rasta. Yes, well known. Said, no, I can't wear African clothes now. It's a modern Rasta. Modern Rasta must look like some gay guys in Italy with some tight pants and some tight shirt with jacket over it and necktie. That is how some gay guys look in Italy, in France, and Belgium, and Spain. That's how them look. And them ear twisty, and you know, them fantasize about the next trip to France, the next trip to Belgium. Never fantasizing about Africa, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria, the Congo, Rwanda, Botswana, Ethiopia. But the name Ethiopia is always there in the mouth. Just like Pan-Africanists. Pan-Africanism, a philosophy including all Africans. But even the Pan-Africanists get a blow too. Yes. Because the culture, and we have to emphasize the culture, very important. Cultures define a people. Culture define a people. And if you are part of the culture of your slave master, you are a puppet on a string. So when I want to say, him is a modern Rasta, him not wearing African clothes, him is a modern Rasta. He want Clark's booty and silk shirt and designer jeans. Why? Why, may I tell you? This is the cutting edge, and I refer there with you, you know. There with you. Where the fire gone. This cell phone is very important to how we're going to advance. This iPhone, this computer, this iPad, very interesting, very important in how we're going to advance in the 21st century. And if we don't use it to elevate ourselves, not to demean ourselves, because that is really where we're going in the culture. In a Jamaica, we use that for demean ourselves. Because the things them that we see the youth them and look on. You know, really. And if you say anything, you hear say, why, and this is what is happening. This is what is happening. You're gone back a time. I say, no. Every day you carry a bucket go well. One day the bucket bottom must drop out. Yeah, man. Every day you carry a bucket go well. One day the bucket bottom must drop out. And right now, the bucket bottom not only drop out, but the bucket bottom rotten. And Henry knows he said there's a hole in the bucket. There's a hole in the bucket. Where you put the water in there? What you going to put the water in if the hole there in the bucket? And the bucket all rotten. Because even if you solder the bucket bottom and put the water in it, the water going to poison you because it going to mix up with the rustiness of the bucket bottom and poison you with all the rust in the bottom. And that's how it there. And we can't see it. Because most of it blind. And then some of it who say we far eye. We short-sighted. We become a part of that nearsightedness where we are claimed, so we are against. And man I say, I beat down Babylon. We are beat down Babylon for what? That we can captivate Babylon and become Babylonians. And the youth, them meanwhile, them is putting the chip in them head. Because what them supposed to learn from the iPhone and the iPad and the I this and the I that. I said one, you know. I said one. Because I did say I and I long time. And them come pick it up now and say iPhone, iPad. When I did say I and I, everybody say we are idiot. Now them come say I too and nobody now say them are idiot. They hear nobody say iPhone. What kind of thing name iPhone, iPad, iTunes, I this, I that. Everything name high, other high upon it now. And when I say I and I, everybody will laugh and I say, well, you say you never got school. You talk about I and I, you and me. Then all jobs come and tell you say iPhone, iPad. All of them are come and say I this, I that, I that. Nobody now tell them I idiot. And then I did I idiot. I them get it from. Then I must I, then I know I from long time. I no change. I high continuously. I am that I am. Who is I? So them want to come now, give the people them, throw the cigarette and give them electronic cigarette. And now them are telling them, so now say, 5 million picnic get hooked on this electronic cigarette. In America, we don't know what get hooked so. But it's another thing now because you want to know. They going to put that in front of we now and say, you know, smoke cigarette, you know. So, we'll give you something to counteract cigarette. But it's something where they give you now. It look more fashionable. And when it look more fashionable now, the youth, them will use it. And when them use it now, it's another cancer thing again and chew man in your head again. But you can't tell people that because they're going to say, oh, you talk about Muta. You know, she said, no, I'm not this and that and I'm not that and that. That's something if you redefine how you see smoking. You redefine how you smoking. They must show you now, say it kill you. It's supposed to get you away from nicotine and them things, but it kill you because them put things in it. Now some state in America got a thing for ban it. Imagine that. They're going to ban something in America. You ever hear the thing ban in America? Not even the man them have to go and fire shot in a building. Today, I mean, a terrible thing. Your man stabbed up some man in Tennessee yesterday. Terrible. But we are the fool. We who are talk about Africa, we who are talk about Rasta, and we who are talk about boy right now. We want to recognize ourselves, not as slaves, but as free people, not only physically, but mentally. But we have to connect the dots. We have to connect the dots. The university now help way. Because it's still a West Indian them. It now help way. Some people come out through the cracks. But as a collective, not helping African people, it help some. But we're done with the some now, we are talking about the collective. Security for surety. If one man is free and the others is not free, no man can truly say that he's free. The freedom of one dependent upon the freedom of all. That is what it is all about. So if you feel that you free over this and the other man free and not free, you have to think again. So we have to free the slave. And remember, university was supposed to free the slave. But if it named University of the West Indies, it can't free you. Or even if it free you, it now going to free the people them. Because the thing is to get a PhD and a doctorate and all these things. To make you feel like, say, well, you know, you're more educated and more advanced culturally than the normal person. And maybe you are. Maybe you are. But guess what? That's not what it is all about. It's all about African liberation. That is what it is. It's about black power. We are one heap of people afraid to say no. Black power. Whole heap of people afraid to say that. A man that prefer ball out Jah on stage, especially if him say white people, because you know say white people I go say Jah too, because him know say you bastardize film language, which is the Hebrew language, which is supposed to be Yah, Y-A-H, and him know say even though you say Jah, you still get caught because Jah not there. No, Jah not there. Jah is a configuration, just like Jesus is a configuration, just like Yahshua is Jesus Christus configure the language and give it. And those of us who feel so we conscious, feel so we move from one to the next. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Because you can't redefine something that was not yours in the first place and believe it's the right thing you get when you start to redefine it. You can't go say you lick Jesus and take up Jesus or take up Jesus. Are the same thing. It just come with a different feeling. But at the same thing, because now give no cultural perspective. They never come with no culture. They come with blood and sword and gun. And they come with all sorts of things. They never come with no building block and a man say, take it and build a castle. Take it and build a empire. And you have to understand, say, you will have an empire before him come there. So where your empire there? Where your monuments of glory there? Where your king there? Where your queen there? Where your land there? That is where we have tried to figure out. This thing here is a very important thing. We are talking about the cell phone. Me not fight against the cell phone. But me know say, just like water. Water quench your thirst and water can drown you. Yes, water can drown you. Depending on where you want to do with it. This is the cutting edge.
The tycoons of social media have to stop pretending that they're friendly nerd gods building a better world and admit they're just tobacco farmers in t-shirts, selling an addictive product to children. Because let's face it, checking your likes is the new smoking. Philip Morris just wanted your lungs. The App Store wants your soul.
There are 2 billion people, more than 2 billion people on Facebook. That's more than the number, it's about the number of notional followers of Christianity. People check their phones 150 times a day, the millennial sort of audience. And so if you think about it, from the moment you wake up, it's like you're jacked in to this environment. And thoughts start streaming into your head, designed by a few technology companies.
What we find is the typical person checks their phone every 15 minutes or less, and half of the time they check their phone, there's no alert, no notification. It's coming from inside their head telling them, gee, I haven't checked in Facebook in a while. I haven't checked on this Twitter feed for a while. I wonder if somebody commented on my Instagram post. That then generates cortisol, and it starts to make you anxious, and eventually your goal is to get rid of that anxiety, so you check in.
And apparently we feel stressed when we can't get our phone or when our battery is about to die. You probably know this feeling. And a research done in Australia among 3,000 people under the age of 30 found that 9 out of every 10 admit to feel this anxiety while having his battery dying.
Steve Jobs revolutionized the entire world with the iPhone, and he never let his children use it because he did not want them dependent on technology.
Right now, an infant is getting their first laptop that's soft and squishy and makes noise. Right now, a child is being born online. and being favorited and retweeted.
The hypergenerational segregation of our time is bizarre, unhealthy, and historically unprecedented. You've never seen the like of people sitting at a table in a restaurant not talking to each other because they're texting and using their Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and they are at the table and don't even know each other. In the house, book, and put your face in a book.
Right now, a teenager is photoshopping their selfie because as a society, we're telling them they're not good enough. Right now, influencers encourage narcissism without knowing the breadth and depth of their impact on their audiences. Right now, 40,000 spectators are in an Olympic football arena watching a competitive esports competition because this is this generation's football match.
There's always this narrative that technology is neutral and it's up to us to choose how we use it. This is just not true. Technology is not neutral. It's not neutral. They want you to use it in particular ways and for long periods of time because that's how they make their money.
You don't realize it, but you are being programmed. It was unintentional, but now you got to decide how much you're willing to give up, how much of your intellectual independence. If you feed the beast, that beast will destroy you. If you push back on it, we have a chance to control it and rein it in. And it is a point in time where people need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. And it's not an American problem. This is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem.
I challenge everyone to try going 1 week without social media.
Don't let your phone and social media control you.
The thing about a lot of our community is that we're lost. We have this weird savior complex, hundreds of years of conditioning, psychological brainwashing, and media manipulation. We're led to believe that white women are the epitome of beauty, and white men are the Prince Charmings of society, while black men are aggressive, thugs who hate, abuse, use, and abandon their women and children. We're taught that black women are ugly, hypermasculine, ghetto, rude, and money-grabbing whores. As children, we're taught to hate our features and glorify anything that's near white. This is why we have children who are upset that they have beautiful, thick, coiled, and curly hair and wish it was straight and thin. Around 20 years ago, black women were ashamed of being curvy or thick. Most black women used to wear clothes that would cover their assets. But now, since white media has deemed curves sexy and popular, we're now told that it's okay to embrace our natural physical attributes. But even then, we're told that our features look better on white people. They steal our culture, our features, and then repackage and rebrand them and try to sell it back to us, all while profiting from the very features they taught us to believe are ugly. They steal our art forms and rewrite our history. The system was designed to destroy us from the inside out. Black men think black women are rude and aggressive and would rather a white or Asian woman because they're submissive. But as soon as a black woman is light-skinned and speaks Spanish, she's automatically sexy and fiery. Black women are led to believe that every black man hates them and is good for nothing, while the white man will take care of her and love her better than her own men. All over TV now we see this extreme push on interracial relationships. They praise interracial relationships and condemn black love. Interracial relationships are promoted as equality, as a true definition of anti-racism, while black love is racist. They tell us black love is a myth and it's dead. If we continue to allow them to misinform us, miseducate us, and mold our opinions, thoughts, and perceptions, there will be no us. Sadly, some of our own men and women are so oblivious to what's really going on. Stockholm Syndrome is very real. I have seen black women defend heinous, disgusting acts simply because the man was white. I have witnessed black men attempt to assist white supremacists in destroying the black woman. Little do they know that without the black woman, there is no black man. Without the black man, there is no black woman. Black men allow white women to disrespect black women. Black women allow white men to disrespect black men. Black men and black women both deny the obvious and apparent fetishization from white men and women and think it's completely acceptable as long as they're willing to get married. Marriage based on sexual lust and fetish. There's also this huge fetish towards mixed and biracial looking babies. And as a man of African descent who looks biracial, I've experienced this firsthand. Our community suffers from colorism, created by the white man, pushed by us. We're now becoming just like our historical and in some cases current oppressors. We're shunning lighter skinned and biracial people and casting them out of the black community, the same way white people refuse to accept biracial kids. We in turn mock and bully our dark-skinned brothers and sisters, all in the same way racist white people do. We put dark-skinned black women at the bottom of the totem pole. But there are those of us who are aware of what's going on. We're awake, we're conscious, and we see it for what it truly is. Those of us who are not down with the swirl. Those of us who love black women and black men. Those of us who believe in black love. Those of us who know these stereotypes are not true. Those of us who want to see the black community rise and prosper. Those of us who buy black. We also know that not all skin folk are kinfolk. Peace, love, and coconut oil.
The journey. Meanwhile, we have jungle and them have forests. We have tribe and them a nation. Jamaica comes out of many one people, disrespecting the majority. And most Jamaicans don't know say that motto is the American motto said we. Yes, and I tell you no lie, American them get it from out of many one. We have an island and a continent, but we give up the continent for the island. We don't ever realize we are nyam things where we're not supposed to nyam, because we never used to nyam it when we did consciously eat. So now we live to eat rather than eat to live. And we don't know where food go or where it come from. We now examine that because we're poor, black and poor. So we buy and eat what we can afford. And them know that too. So them slow poison way. Yeah man, most of we get slow poison and we don't even know. We are slow poison just like how them genetically modify we. We are genetically modified. Always can you explain the ways and things that we do now against each other? In the name of whatsoever. And when we look on our sisters has become confused and ridiculous. The way them behave and react now. And you can't say nothing to them because them say everybody free for do what them want to do. Everything free for do, but it's not everything good for do. Certain things have a consequence. And somehow we wake up too late to find out the consequence. A man will say, "Lo, make a man do what he want to do. Man free for do what he want to do." You can't tell certain youth that say where my do unacceptable to even just the preservation of life in its totality. Because them still have a belief say somebody will come out of the sky, come save we from this madness and this craziness sometime in the future. The future is now. The future is now. I think the future are tomorrow. Tomorrow will never come. And yes, so we're there. And we have to work it out. We have to work it out because we have things say, why this a man come and we're still in the same position, that a man come and we're still in the same position. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We don't need another hero. That's how the song go. We don't need another hero. We don't need no more hero. We are the ones we have been waiting for. I exist because my ancestors was. I am my ancestor. My ancestor is I. So why you think so there? Still, we're according to logics and rational thinking. African people not supposed to still there. We're supposed to get wiped off of the map long time. We're not supposed to there. The things that we got through, we're not supposed to be here, but we are here still. And we will be here as long as we are here. Can't get you out of the race. Have no fear of atomic energy, because none of them can stop the times. So them give you food for eat. And we just eat it because it's cheap. And we don't know where it come from or how it come. But something get modified along the way for reach a table, for reach a plate. And then them have a guy around us, so them called doctor, a wait. That's when you don't eat it. You go to him. But spend some money where you get up 8 to 5 to get it. He says you pay. And your pay is to buy food, clothes, and have your shelter. And him have food, clothes, shelter, and doctor bill, water rate, light bill, extension, fingernail bill, furniture, unnecessary furniture bill, tax, NHT, THT, and all of them. Confusion in a room. Yes. El
Muta.
Well, I say, how you know, man?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Just I yell up and thing, you know. And it's a radio here really balling how the streaming thing not working so that them can flow the program, the cutting edge, the IRA. You know? Hello?
No, I say everybody a ball.
Yeah, man, because you know, over a month now, so saying it publicly, you know, that really want it to be fixed because.
So what happened now? The people them who subscribe to it now get it out go. Where go on?
Yes, because the streaming service. This is what SLR people and others are saying.
Yeah, I worry for people.
I
hear you.
then they're not getting it, you know.
Okay.
Streaming service not available, and it's over a month now, you know, which is more than ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, well, I tell them, and they are aware of it. I don't know what happened, brethren. I don't know. I tell you the truth, I don't know what happened.
Yes, over a month now, and this is serious because, as you know, information is power.
Yeah.
And when people are denied information, that is decreasing, you know, their capability to empower themselves, you know. And a lot of people depend on the cutting edge because, you know, cutting edge like stepping razor, a program.
So me ask you not hear it over there again. You turn
No, not hearing it, you know, because normally like I'm phoning you now.
Yeah, you not listen to it.
Listening to you.
So nobody in England not hear it again then?
Not hearing it.
No, right. So I'll be in hear it.
Remember, you know, that SLR radio here, for example.
No, we're not talking about SLR now because we know.
Yes, I know, but that is what that's what I have been told.
No, me know, but when I say it's a complaint me get all over the place, you know. But when I say now, you tell me say nobody in England can hear it, you're cutting it again. That's what you say. Not
so far.
And America and the 10 million people that listen to me.
Yes, exactly. So it's global. It's global.
Yes. I don't know, brethren. I don't know. I tell them.
It's
and every week I come, I see my WhatsApp full up a message say them now here the continent, them are going to one last one. Them
but it's the truth. You know what I mean? It's the truth because you know the voice say African matters, Pan-Africanist matters. I mean, hardly have any regular platforms for it. So when something like that happened to a cutting edge and a stepping razor, it's terrible. There's no other way to describe it. It's a big setback, you know. And the relevant people at IRFM must get this thing sorted out technically. You know, it's over a month now. We can understand where maybe a thing might happen for a couple hours or a few days.
But consistently.
That's not good. Definitely not good. I want to heal up President Mugabe, who has done his work, and of course the racists and the traitors, them with them usual attacks and lies and rejoicing and that type of thing. But we Africans...
In parts we are Singapore, I hear. In parts we are Singapore.
Huh?
I hear that in parts we in Singapore, in a hospital in Singapore.
Yes. Because let us also remember that because he refused to send soldiers and police to evict and murder the other war veterans who reclaimed our land. Reclaimed our land. Never invade. We can't invade our own land. That the Tony Blair regime and George Bush Jr. and the rest of the European Union undertook racist economic sanctions to destroy Zimbabwe. Which has had a terrible effect. See? To undermine the economy of the country. It is like what did happen to Jamaica in the 70s, as you know, when the U.S. put a lot of economic and other pressures on Jamaica. You know, to create discontent among the people, for them to rise up and all kind of things. Same kind of thing. And the same kind of sanctions against Iran,
Cuba,
and Venezuela,
Cuba,
and North Korea. So in other words, anyone who would stand up to European racist power come under economic sanctions. Same thing with them do against Syria and that type of thing. So, and with George Bush, he came with that thing known as ZIDERA, ZIDERA, which are racist sanctions to help Tony Blair. And what people must understand too, that what kicked off the war by Tony Blair against President Mugabe didn't start with when President Mugabe supported the other war veterans in reclaiming the land, you know. It was when before, in the same 1990s, he made a speech denouncing the practice of homosexuality as being nasty and immoral at a book fair in Harare. That was what got Tony Blair, who legalized so-called marriage between men and women and women, upset. It was later on the land situation came about when the other war veterans reclaimed the land. But it first had to do with President Mugabe's stance that it is wrong, the practice of homosexuality.
At the book fair.
You know, to this day.
It was at the book fair.
Remember, Tony Blair tried to get Thabo Mbeki of South Africa, president, to help him to overthrow President Mugabe's government. And President Mbeki quite rightfully rejected that to be used as an African president to overthrow another African president. And he will be at President Mugabe's funeral too. You know? And of course we have to remember Sister Samad, Madam Samad, who passed away. And you know, she was born on the 1st of September, just like Alton, you know. So who have to heal up the works that she did, you know.
She was buried on Sunday then bury her.
Yes. And I heard that the crowd was good, but not as large because of Mama Louise Bennett's 100th.
And they must rename in Garden Town Square Miss Lou Square.
Yes.
That was what was happening Sunday.
Yes, so the same Sunday, so you know that took away the crowd. You know, that took away the crowd, you know. And what a situation in the Bahamas, so many of our people being killed by the storm Dorian.
Yeah, Avoca, man, may I tell you. Them said down over 2,000.
I have a sister from Spanish Town near Marcia de la Vega, and her big sister lives in the Bahamas there, but fortunately she was okay. Her sister.
Yeah, but it's not even the Bahamas.
She was okay.
It's not even the Bahamas get licked like Abaco, you know. It's a little island, one of the 700 island round this up. We get wiped out totally.
I see it on WhatsApp and things.
Everybody I know are Bahamas. Them tell them alright, but it's a little island named Abaco. It get the leak.
Yes, that's true.
The whole place wipe out. Yes, right now, them gone over 2,000 people, them say dead.
A lot of dead bodies.
Yes, it's terrible, man, terrible. Terrible thing, man.
You know, it go to show you how water is also good, but water in the form of a star.
That will I say too. That will just say about the water drown you and water cleanse you.
Yes, it's like fire. Fire help cook food.
Yeah, and
fire
burn down your house.
Burn and destroy, you know what I mean?
So you know, go on talk.
Yeah, I have to say condolences to my brethren, the Clint Eastwood DJ, the younger brother of Trinity, the DJ and singer. Yes, because his 15-year-old son, who was stabbed in the heart near Broadwater Farm in Tottenham on the 30th of August, died 6 days later. I tell you, it's a spate of stabbings by a lot of our youth.
May I tell you?
As African youth.
You hear about them, man. I hear about them.
Yeah, man. You know, only 15. Terry Jordan Brahma, the son of Robert Brahma.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, my brethren.
Yeah, what me do I ask you, right? We have a news down here between the Prime Minister, of England, you know, have called to order, say, him a lock down the Parliament for a couple of weeks, and it is a call.
Yes, for 5 weeks, which is out of order.
Yeah.
But the Scottish court has made the decision that this is illegal.
Yeah, but the other court not say it's illegal. It's like one say it's illegal and one say it's
no. Listen to me. The court in Scotland has said that it is illegal. So now it is going to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Because Boris Johnson and his followers have appealed against that decision, which is why it is going to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
But it is really true, you know. Boris Johnson is trying to stifle debate on this whole Brexit thing because he doesn't have no plan for no Brexit and that type of thing. And that's why he shut down by fiat edict the parliament for 5 weeks because he's trying to kill the debate to minimize. So it's now at the supreme stage now, you know. So I will definitely keep stern. And between starting 21, Tory MPs out of the party, including Winston Church and son, the father of the house of the Tories, Ken Clark and others. He has put himself problems. I mean, is that the Tory party is, you know, is wrecked with the infighting and division because, of course, he used to attack when he used to disagree with Theresa May and others, and so he was not kicked out of the party.
Yeah.
But he's doing that to people who disagree and vote against what he wants.
He might kick them out of the party.
Type of thing, yes.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Queen Elizabeth has come under the spotlight because people are saying that she should come to court to talk what happened.
But she said him tell the Prime Minister tell her a lie. They must say the Prime Minister tell her a lie.
Yes, no, but not only that, and that she should come and testify. Because what happened, that conversation was between only her and the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So what people are saying is that she, Queen Elizabeth II, should come and testify. But guess the irony of it.
Yeah.
The Queen, according to the rules of the Queen cannot be brought to court.
She can't be brought to court. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. That means that she's above the law.
Yeah, of course. Oh, you mean, you know, I the Queen above the law.
On a radio station who said she's a human being like anybody else.
Yeah, but the Queen is, but that's out of them write the law, you know, say them are above the law, you know. Remember, them write the law, so them above the law, so.
Precisely.
Yeah,
but that is precisely the point that I and others are making. That this thing about everyone is equal before the law is a
No, sir. The Queen is above the law.
Yeah, it's a lie, and all of this thing with them bill and about
she have immunity. It's like how it's like how certain diplomats have immunity. You know, you have diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, diplomatic immunity.
She have immunity to everything.
But that is with certain things, you know. Because if they do certain things, like murder somebody out on the street and thing, that is a different kind of situation, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Queen can murder somebody and get away with it.
Immunity is not absolute, you
No,
know.
the Queen power is absolute. Trust me.
Yes.
According to the law, the Queen power is absolute.
Yes, and that is wrong. It go for sure say it's not no so-called equal rights and justice as what them propagandize and tell people.
Equal for the peasants.
And this is why you have people who want the country to be a republic.
Yeah.
This is why you have people who want the country to be a republic.
Well, I guess that's why I still have pound. That's why them still have pound.
Respect to the law.
Well, I guess that's why them have pound still, and the other country them have euro, you know. For sure, them sovereignty, them still maintain the pound.
Yes, exactly, you know.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Windrush business? In London, this Saturday, from 11 o'clock in the morning to 1 p.m., there's the Windrush compensation scheme to tell people about them rights. The Home Office putting it on, and this is gonna be at Thornton Heath in London at 40 Northwood Road, Thornton Heath in Croydon, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. put on by the Home Office called Windrush Compensation Scheme. Them doing it at several places over the country, and this is Saturday the 14th. But this is something that should be done in more areas because a lot of our people still need to be sorted out in terms of their immigration status in this country. Serious. And I see the sound system thing that Prime Minister Andrew is have to get into the act and admit that there must be places built for sound system.
Yeah, but a long time them know that, long time them attack about them something.
Precisely. From the 1990s when I was a member of the Sound System Association of Jamaica, and we used to keep meetings at Gemini Club at Halfway Tree Road. And Louis Fraser Bennett at the time got most of the sound system owners. We have foolishly agreed that sounds must shut off at 2 o'clock. And I said at the meeting, no, turn down the sound at 2 o'clock. Don't shut it off, because the livelihoods of a lot of people, vendors and so on, to take care of themselves and children, depend on sound system. And I also said that sound venues should be built in non-residential areas to sound systems, and the police not to get involved, because from police get involved in sound system thing is corruption.
Of course.
In other words, bribe to pay money and that type of thing.
To keep the sound on.
And to keep the sound on. As Ricky Trooper said right things in his video that I saw, but it's only one thing, Ricky Trooper: cut out the foul-mouthed language, because you alienate people by using them cussing thing. That's not necessary, because I said the same thing and even more than Ricky Trooper. But I don't use no cuss word, and I tell people about them mother and them thing. Idiot business that. But other than that, Ricky Trooper taught the right thing. But cut out the...
Well, them go, all right, not Ricky. Some group of ones go meet Babsy, them still don't meet Babsy, and that is where the Prime Minister did react to. See, it's a meeting where they keep now with the sound system people, where Ricky Trooper did lick and say, him no more meeting, but them still go do the meeting. So out of that now, the Prime Minister attack. So again, we're going to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens, because I remember in the 1990s, because the 2 o'clock thing come in when P.J. Patterson was the Prime Minister. K.D. Knight, who was the Minister of Security at the time, said that him do have no friend who own sound system, but him have friends who sound systems disturb. So you see how that go. Him not a sound system man like me and you and others. You know what I mean?
Him have people who listen to it or disturb.
Yes. So see, him do have no friend who owns sound systems, but him have friends who
disturb.
I have to big up all of the sound system people them all over Jamaica who support sound systems,
Well, they have to find a way to balance this thing, They have to find a way to balance it. They have to find some areas where...
Still certain areas. Entertainment zones. All out of put them this hell chanting, and you turn the speaker box them to the sea, so that the shark and the bar...
Well, it's not only down there, so, but you have places, you have other places where they're supposed to find. Anyway, we have to move our brethren.
All right, just keep up the good work on IRFM management. Fix up the streaming service. Because I spy you.
All right, so listen, we want to play this to the people, them. Here we go.
Executive Director of the School of Hotel, Restaurant and Tourism, Boyimwole Enukomeko Kodo, says the African has become such a great embarrassment to God, and it is about time the black race changed its mindset about itself and where it came from. He lamented bitterly about the African's refusal to embrace his or her tradition and culture, and said the African culture is much more than just drumming and dancing, and there is the need for Africans to dig deeper into the history books to acquire knowledge about the genesis of their civilization.
He said this at a socio-cultural workshop and exhibition of African Museum for some visiting American students from the University of Texas and their counterparts from the School of Hotel, Restaurant and Tourism here in Accra.
Stolen from Africa, brought to America. There is
a saying that if you know your history, then you will know where you're coming from, and then journeying into the future becomes comprehensible. The black race has been brainwashed into believing that it is worthless and helpless. We have forfeited our way of life and tend to believe that living the Western way is the best. The Western media is accused of presenting Africa as uncivilized, hunger-stricken and war-torn continent to the rest of the world, and as a result has made the African or the black race home and abroad lose confidence in themselves. The founder of African Conscious Study Group, Dr. Maulana Hamed, in lecturing some university students, linked Africa's problems to the kind of educational system brought by the European colonial masters, and said it was to de-Africanize the African's mind, spirit, body, and soul. According to a professor of the University of Texas, Dr. Dory Gilbert, who has for the past 5 years led over 100 students to Ghana to study Ghanaian social and community development programs, such lectures would help the students perceive Africa differently.
The students come and they work with several entities here, NGOs, schools, and they all work on sustainable development projects, and so that's the focus. We also have lectures, and Dr. Hamed Mwana is one of those lectures, and of course today we were able to enjoy a very stimulating, exciting, and charismatic lecture from Dr. Mwana that we truly appreciate.
This is the cutting edge. We're going through the paces, as we say. We just have to listen to this.
iPads and other devices are called tablets because they belong on tables. They are tested 20 centimeters away from that big guy that I showed you before. 20 centimeters away. They are not approved to be held in the laps of little children, although millions of kids are having them now in schools because the people involved in educational technology and those involved in public health research are not talking to one another. Because if they were, they would understand that you're giving children a two-way microwave radiating device. And if you must give them such a device for learning purposes, put it on airplane mode so that it's not sending and receiving signals as it does otherwise. Now, this is some new modeling, again, that we've developed with colleagues in Brazil, and we can share with you how we've done it. We first start out with the MRI and create the model with 1 millimeter voxels, and this is quite a bit of work goes into creating this, and here is what it looks like after a period of 6 minutes. And that's really not as bad as it might look, because you see the red area only gets partway through the eye of the adult, right? The one that we're really concerned about is this one with the young child. And this is a 3-year-old brain that we modeled. And you see that by the end of that 6-minute call, the peak radiation, yellow and red, is getting all the way into almost both eyes. And again, this is one call, and it's not going to kill anybody. It may not cause any biological effect whatsoever for 1 call or 2 calls or 3 calls. But the question is, what's the cumulative impact of this kind of exposure? How do we evaluate it? And I want to show you an example of some of the work that we are doing now that I'm releasing here for the first time. And this is a modeled microwave radiation dose of a 6-year-old with greater levels to the frontal and temporal lobes, eyes and cheek. And watch this here. Now, yellow, white, and red are the hottest, all right? And if you look carefully, you will see it's going into the eye, the nose. Do it again, just so you'll get to see it. And partly into the brainstem. Now, that's just showing you that there's going to be some.
All right, I don't want this man credit done, you know. All right, yes, here.
Yeah, man, what go on? Morning, blessed morning. Blessed morning.
Morning.
What go on, Rasta, man?
Cutting edge.
I cut all of the edge, them. They play soon drop down from the edge, them cut, you know.
No, I hope it no drop down for me.
Yes, you done that, man. Now, here you are, no man attack like while me and my mention something about the Queen. You see some information from Google it up, say the Queen have a weekly audience with our Prime Minister in Jamaica, Andrew Holness.
A weekly audience? Wait, hold on. She have a weekly audience?
Yeah, that me see on Google, yeah, with our Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
Every week?
Yeah. Weekly audience and government matters.
You believe that?
He also represent the country.
No, you believe say Andrew Holness have a weekly audience with the Queen?
Yeah, man, through technology.
No, I never say no, I'm not technology. Of course you have technology, but I just ask if you believe say him have a weekly audience with the Queen.
Yeah, man, I'm going to show the information you just say.
Yeah, no, me not say the information. A whole heap of things information say. As you must believe it, I not believe it. So me ask you if you believe it.
I believe that, yes.
Okay.
All right, so here it says now, and she conduct various public and private functions across the country. And she
Which country?
Jamaica, and she represent the country abroad.
No, wait there. You say the Queen.
Elizabeth.
Read it again.
The information said the Queen carry out various public and private functions across the country.
She have public, wait there. The Queen appear publicly across the country?
No, man, she said she carry out various, she and her consort carry out various public and private functions across the country, and she represent.
No, may I ask if you said the thing say she and her consort have various public and private things across the country.
Yeah.
So she there Jamaica?
I'm going to tell you, I read it and I show where the information.
Yeah, but may I ask if you believe it? If you believe that the Queen there have public and private consultation?
If you believe?
Yeah.
Them people don't can make any move where they want to make.
No, I know that may ask you. May ask if you believe that the Queen there and make private and public consultation. If you believe that.
Doubt, so I'm going to share the information.
No, but Reggie, it can't say anything, may I ask you if you believe it.
If me believe?
Yeah.
Believe is that doubt, so that may I tell you.
What you tell me, say? All right. You know what you do it there. You know what you do it.
I tell you, so me buy it, so me sell it.
No, but me know why you sell the people them foolishness. That me I say.
The information you just tell you foolishness.
The information not depend on Google about foolishness.
All right.
Everything.
You're one expert. Wait
there. Everything on the internet you believe.
So listen.
No, we can't go no further. May I ask you. You personally come here now with an argument. Say the Queen there in Jamaica and make public and private consultation.
I never tell you the Queen there. I say, I never share the information on my sister.
Yeah, what the information says? She making what? Public and private what?
To carry out various
public and private
function across the
what
country.
Is the public? When it say public, what it mean? When it say public, what it mean? Public. When it say public, what it mean?
You know public and private?
Yeah, me know public means that she appear publicly. Publicly means that she appear publicly. Private means that she go privately and nobody no see.
Yeah, but she not can have a representative who...
They should not have a representative with the Governor General.
She can't have people who do it.
No, you say, the article say, she.
Yes.
You said she.
You can Google it up and see it for yourself, find it out for yourself.
No, but I know, me not find out nothing if me read it, brethren. Me not finding out nothing if me read it.
All right, here she say, here the information she again.
Yeah.
It said, the last financial year, Queen Elizabeth received 61 million from Jamaica government and our Prime Minister. Jamaica government.
The Jamaica government got $61 million.
Yeah, the last financial year.
For do what?
For upkeeping of Buckingham Palace and parties and to take care of gardening.
Okay.
And that's on the information.
Okay. So
what is a government grant? Me ask what is government grant and sovereign grant. You know what is a sovereign grant in Jamaica here?
Tell me.
No, me ask that.
No, tell me.
Grant. What is sovereign grant?
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me, I don't know.
Sovereign grant, I money where Queen Elizabeth get from Jamaica government here. I talk about Jamaica now, from Crown Estate. That's the information.
Yeah, so
I talk about.
Yes.
You have more time people that talk about what them call it, about taxpayers' money.
Yes. Yeah.
information also say
Yes.
to get property tax
Yes.
and other taxes.
Okay.
Our Prime Minister, you're a government in Jamaica here.
Yes.
When people pay tax and them things, they get money off of it.
All right. Yeah.
From out of the treasury.
Yeah.
You believe them information will come from US Time magazine and Wikipedia and before we get through Google, yeah?
Wikipedia. Me no read Wikipedia, brethren.
And US Time magazine.
No, me no read Wikipedia. Me no read
US
Wikipedia.
Time magazine and worldwide, but all of them information are dependent. I lie them a tell, you believe I lie them a tell?
No,
you believe it,
brethren, me never say a lie. Me ask
no, me not say a lie, man. I'm going to ask if you believe it like when
No, me not believe everything when me hear. Me not believe everything when me read.
All right.
Me not believe everything when me hear, and me not believe everything when me read.
All right.
Because you still not explain to me the public and private consultation which you making at Jamaica.
You don't believe that?
You never hear me say?
No, repeat.
All right, go and read, brethren. Go and read.
Yeah.
Go and read.
So may I say?
Yeah.
The information all I say, all of the parliament here and then.
Yes.
Without them take the oath of allegiance to Queen Elizabeth, them can't get no pay, or them can't debate in the house or vote.
Well, we don't know. Yeah, we know that the crown control the parliament. We don't know that.
Yeah, so without them take a vote of allegiance,
yes, them swear to the queen them, and our successors. They don't know that. Them swear to the queen and our successors.
The same information where you say no, and the same information.
No, but I don't let somebody get that information. But I don't let somebody get. No, wait, no, I don't let somebody get information.
I don't believe the next verse then.
Then we must have to believe it. Wait there.
You have to believe, but that's the reason.
No, but when I say, no, wait there.
I provide them information.
You are asking me why me believe one part and not believe the other part. I have to believe every part because I believe one part.
No, man, a reason.
No, we're not reason. You read something.
You could have Googled it up and see where it says.
But if you Google it, I go to the same thing where you say.
Eh?
If you Google it, I go to the same thing where you say.
So what is your take?
But that don't mean say everything when me see that, so I have to go believe it.
So what is your take?
I do have no take on it.
So where you get your source of information?
Which one of the information? Tell me which information.
Your source of information.
Which one? Tell me which source of information. Which source of information? Tell me one of the information then where you ask where me get it from.
No, me ask you your source of information.
Tonight me I talk about Africa. Me I talk about Africa a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get the source of information about what lion and tiger and all that.
Your source, any information where you get. Where you get it from?
All over the place.
From where?
Anywhere me want it go to, me go there and get it.
So you go on Google to an them things?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Of course me go on Google.
Information there. Some of them are lie.
Of course.
Are you not believing in some of them?
Of course, some of them is lie. I know everything on Google are true.
All right. So
everything, I know everything, especially Wikipedia. Wikipedia, the liar, this one out of the whole of them.
So
where you laugh at?
Magazine and Jamaica passport,
so
immigration system and them thing. The whole of them are say the same thing like what I tell you, I know.
No, brethren.
I just reason,
No, you keep us a just reason and reason, and then you go try to tell me must believe what you read.
No, I mean I say you must believe.
Me say, I will believe what I want to believe from what you read, and there's certain things that I don't believe in what you read.
All right.
It's just simple.
Respect you. Here this I know. Here where information is just say. He say, Her Majesty.
Yeah.
Representative.
The Governor General.
Yeah. Him have reserve power when can dismiss the Prime Minister. Fire the Prime Minister after the and it's on the advice of the Prime Minister, Queen Elizabeth, select the Governor General, and it assure you.
No, who elect the Governor General?
The Prime Minister.
Okay.
Who is the Governor General?
Yes.
And the advice of the Prime Minister, Queen Elizabeth, get a Governor General to represent her here.
Yeah. So the Prime Minister elect the Governor General. They don't know that.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So you hear me say no? And after that, no.
So you ask me if I believe that?
No, you say you know it. You're supposed to know that.
Them don't know that?
So you say no, the Governor General, have a reserve power when can dismiss the Prime Minister and all parliamentarians.
Yeah.
You know that too?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay, now your reason. So me love.
Also, if I agree with you, it's alright. But if I don't agree with it, not alright.
Me no beg to do anything. I agree with my family. I'm going to show you say the information.
But I reserve the right to believe what you read, part of what you read, and none of what you read. I reserve the right to do that.
So that's why I say me no beg to do. I'm going to share it with you.
Yeah.
You get the understanding?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all we are going in a Jamaica, the Queen is alive and well in contact with our government. That she run our government here in Jamaica, and you own as our Prime Minister. Yeah? You understand?
Me hear you.
And our parliament who rule over black people in Jamaica, the people them are run from that reality until this day.
Yeah.
You know? 57 years under Queen Elizabeth rule from PMP to Labour.
How long than 57 years, Virgin?
57 years of Jamaica, from Jamaica independence. You know that?
Yeah.
Under Queen Elizabeth rule. You listen what I say?
I hear what you can't listen.
From Labour to PMP, from PMP to Labour.
GLP, yeah.
I just still fair government.
As she elect the government. As she elect the government.
Repeat that.
Is she elect the government?
Yeah. And I just talk about elect the government. She, the Queen also, decide who she wants to be our Prime Minister. That the information I say also.
Oh, I know the GLP government. I know the GLP or the PNP choose that. It's not the PNP choose.
Approval, them can't get the job.
No, wait there. The PNP, the GLP right now, I'm going to talk about the GLP.
Yeah.
It's not the people them in the party select Andrew Holness as the leader of the opposition, as the leader of the party.
Select Andrew Holness?
Yeah.
As the leader of the party?
Yeah.
Yes, but without...
Wait, no, all right, no, wait, no, all right.
Yeah.
So when the people them vote, and put in the GLP as the government, is because him is the leader of the party. It's not him become the prime minister because him is the leader of the party.
Naturally. And all of that, when go through there, without the Queen stamp of approval.
Stamp of approval upon who? Upon the prime minister?
Yeah, without fair stamp of approval, he can't get the office.
So you mean the governor general now ordained the prime minister as the prime minister? So the governor general now who represent the Queen.
Yeah, that's why them have to say a oath of allegiance.
No, me not say no. We are charged go straight. Me not say no.
When they say a oath of allegiance to the governor general in Jamaica, the Queen.
Yeah, and the Queen and our successors. And the Queen and our successors.
It is the representative.
Yeah, we know that. But what I say to you now, so if the prime minister decides say he will get rid of the governor, he can't get rid of the governor general, that you say.
After the Queen, no man, he can't fire the governor. After the Queen 19, he can't do that.
No, wait there, hold on it. So all of these places now where they have a governor general, where the Queen did run, and them decide say them are going to become a republic. How them do it? How them get rid of the Queen?
Alright, I'm going to share something with you.
Yeah.
You remember what the time Portia say?
She going to be Queen.
She going to ditch the Queen?
And she going to be the Queen. She are the Queen, yes.
After she did say?
Yeah,
she going to be the Queen?
Yeah, she don't say she are Queen. Yeah, so alright.
Minister, she really could jive with you.
Yeah.
You know, she lose the election, Muta.
I choose that she will get rid of the Queen while she lose.
You buy your people tell you you can't stay up and cow back and cut cow.
Yeah, but you have to me now say it's true. She said she will get rid of the Queen while she lose, and that you say.
Yeah, that is my view, because she can't stay up and cow back and cut cow, and the white people.
May I ask you a question? So may I ask you a question? The countries them that was under colonial rule with the Queen as the head of state, that is now republic. Oh, them is republic now, and the Queen is not them head of state.
You see, even a country, all them you hear Andrew Holness say the same thing, say me that
get rid of the Queen.
Make you up on the team, but them and be a republic. But them still want to be under what? Commonwealth rule, which is the Queen is the head of the Commonwealth.
But you're not hear me ask you. You have countries that was what was part of the Commonwealth, and the Queen was the head of state.
Like
Gambia, like Nigeria. I mean, like a whole heap of country. You know, like a whole heap of country.
So
you know, like Trinidad, like. No, I ask you, how them come to be republic now and is not under the Queen?
So being republic, that don't necessarily mean say you do under the Queen, because you're still under Commonwealth.
But I told you, the Gambian Prime Minister take them out of the Commonwealth. You have the people them who take themselves out of the Commonwealth.
How much country?
No, if it's even one, if it's even one of them, it don't matter. If it's even one.
No, we am gonna ask you.
I don't know. I say if it's even one. I say if it's even one of them, come out.
How much country in Africa right now is under Commonwealth?
You know, you hear me I say?
You hear me, man?
I don't know how much country, but I say it's not only in Africa. It's not only in Africa you find republic. You know, it's not.
So here I know.
But here I know. You're depending too long. You know, we have to go kick you off.
Yeah, but all right. Me don't want the word. Me still want to tell you love. But all of them come out under republic. Well, that's why I say them still have to deal with European Union. All of them.
But the European Union,
there's no success.
But the European Union are controlled by the Queen.
No, you know what I say? Europe's come for Africa, them still under it. Them still have to deal with America and England.
Everybody have to deal with America and England.
Them say, them say there's no successful black nation upon earth today.
Who said that? Who said that?
Africa.
Who said that?
That's how the information is.
And you believe that? And you believe that?
So tell me which country in the world.
Me gone, brethren. Me gone. Me a run from you. Me gone.
Which country in the world?
Me say, me gone.
That's why they put on all of the African countries. If you not deal with America, they mash up your country.
Me gone. Me run from you, brethren. Yeah, this is the Cotton Edge and IRFM. The things that I have to go through on this program. You know, it's a serious thing when people read things and just slam bam, take everything with them read and then put it out. And we just talk about it, you know. We just talk about it because it will appear that this brethren is saying that what we are fight for is in vain. That is really where the crux of the matter is, that our fight is in vain. Because if we start look like we're going to fight, they're going to kill us. So I better we just not fight. Because them do that with a whole heap of the leader them. That is really a weird situation we find ourselves in now. Because the Queen ruled and owned Jamaica, according to what I'm saying. Where we are say, which part in Africa me know say we're not run by the Queen or we're not controlled by the Queen. Wow. I tell you, say Africa is not a country, you know, it's a continent. It's a continent, brethren, not a country. It's not everywhere that was colonized by the Queen or the British. And you have right now African leaders that, anyway, I forgot through the same thing over and over. I want to know now if him really I say we for just throw in the towel because no care what we say, the Queen run things. No care what we say, the Queen run things. The Queen have a Governor General. We can't get rid of the Governor General without fight. The Queen, watch a man. The government gave the Queen $60 million. When they say a week or a year, I don't even know where I say, but it read and I cannot go against it because him read that. the Queen have private and public consultations with the government. Private and public consultations. Maybe what you call it? What them call it again? When you have the TV there, talk to somebody. Conference. So what them call it? Conference. Video conference. The Queen and her successors is what them swear to in the courts. We know that. We're not idiot. We know that. I refuse to, because I like something in the Bible, I'm going to accept everything in the Bible. I refuse to go on Google and Wikipedia, which is one of the worst things to go get information from, and repeat it without examining the reality of it. I refuse to read Times Magazine, listen to CNN, Fox Channel, MSNBC, and believe everything we are hear upon it because it come from them. I refuse. Not because I turn on my TV and I watch CNN and I hear them say something, I will go and say, well, till that I go on. Or CNN, NBC, Fox Channel, whatsoever, BBC. Because I listen to BBC and hear them say something. Watch a man. I don't know them joke there now. I don't know them joke there. You know, so we will come forward there from 2 o'clock to 5:45 with the Stepping Razor, the Art of War. Totally different program. Nothing will transpire right here, so tonight, yeah, we end up in the day. Why you know that? I'm really feel away all the people them who did find solace into the cutting edge, cannot hear the cutting edge for how long now. Yeah, we can't say that again because there's more people listening to this program outside of Jamaica than in Nassau. It have more relevance outside of Jamaica than Nassau because, you know it go. A program is without honor in its own country. A program is without honor in its own country, you understand? But when they are 20 years now, so much they do something right. For they are still relevant. But that version I find him amusing a while ago. I mean, I don't know why I can't find him amusing, you know, that he must say. He might read it, he might Google it. So if I Google it, wow, me I got to say nothing no go so. I mean, never tell him, so look go so, I say, me no believe somebody things the way I say. Me no believe somebody things the way I say. Not because me I read it. Brethren, you cannot read that and listen to everything and accept it. Because it's like the source where it come from. And at them same people that do certain things. You think so me go sit down and listen to, look, you know how much time I watch CNN and hear them say something about Jamaica. Me I say, which part of Jamaica where them I talk about? You know how much time I ain't gonna listen to BBC and hear them mention something about African thing, and me I say, what a wicked set of people them. Perception. Okay. What were they? We didn't want to play this thing, you know. But it kind of gone far. You can't play nothing else at all. I don't even know what come in again. No, well, obviously it can be. Elise come back, so I must Matrix a come in. Because I see 10 years, so I do entertainment buzz that Mr. Brian are there. Can't keep up with where I go on in the area, so you know. I can't keep up at all. I am confused. Anyway, Vita, how you do? I can't see you, but you say you miss me, but I miss you too. But it's easier for you come see me than I come go see you. Yes, it's so it goes. Simple. I better you come see me than I come see you, because I don't know where you there. You know me there. You understand? I am a brethren. You understand? I am a brethren. Love you for a long time. But when I see you, no, you listen still, but seeing is one thing, you know, that you don't go on a foreign, so I'm not supposed to not see you. You know, if you're gone a foreign, it's a different thing, but I'm not supposed to be not seeing you. It just said, anyway, make us see how far this tune can go. Okay. Make us start to set it up here. Okay, here we go. So how far it can go in the program. So this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM.